Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Another big week last week on the over-unders. We put 2 up on Patreon. Let's get this money. Let's get to Monday Night Football. First game, we got the Tampa Bay Bucks at the Kansas City Chiefs. Over, under 45.5. I'm going under. But this is more so because the Chiefs offense, and you just wonder, when is Mahomes going to get going? Is another week in practice with D-Hop going to help this Chiefs offense? I have question marks still, and I'm not saying Mahomes plays bad or is playing bad. I've seen a lot of people saying that. I just think this Chiefs offense is in jog mode when they should at least be in trot, and we know when it gets to the playoffs, they're going to be in sprint mode. I get it. This Chiefs offense versus the Bucs defense, that's absolutely in shambles. It's a great matchup. But on the other side, here's really why I like this under. Man, you got Baker Mayfield. I felt like he played good, even with the INTs last week against Atlanta. But Mike Evans isn't going to be back. Godwin's not going to be there. So you wonder, are they going to be able to run it like they did against the Falcons? Who the hell is going to block Chris Jones? That's why I absolutely love the under 45.5. I'm thinking about betting it. It is a borderline money pick. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at my Minnesota Vikings. Over, under 46.5. Money, money, money. Money. I'm going over. This Colts defense can't stop anyone. They can't stop the run, and I do think they're vulnerable against the pass. We've seen Minnesota have their best games offensively when they establish that run game first, and I think Darnold will respond. He had a very slow second half against a vulnerable Rams defense. On the other side of the ball, listen, we know this Vikings defense was absolutely phenomenal through the first 6-7 weeks, but we saw that Rams game, and it's kind of like a trend we saw last year with this Vikings defense. They start off the season really great. Flores is dominating, but teams catch up to him. And the main symbiosis about this pick is who can run the ball well. I think both teams do it, and I absolutely love this Colts offensive line from a run game perspective. I think this Colts offense gets a boost, a little bit of rejuvenation, seeing Flacco jog out there. I'm going over the 46.5. Make it a damn money pick. You can pick apart this Vikings defense if you can run on it. It's difficult to throw zone blitzes in when a team's 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell at the Green Bay Packers. Over, under 48. I'm going under. I don't know who's playing quarterback for Green Bay. That's why this is such a difficult proposition. When I went to the Tuesday video yesterday to make my pick, I was reading news that it looks like Love was like a 90% chance of playing. Now it looks like it's leaning towards Malik Willis. Either way, man, I got the under in this game, even though the Lions defense is vulnerable. But this is more so because I think this Packers defense is undervalued in the market. I'm going under the 48. Not a lot of science due to the fluidity of this situation. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. Over, under 48. Money, money, money. Money, borderline. Borderline. Like, I can see how this game goes like 23-20. It's a divisional battle. I mean, teams have made a laughing stock of going to Seattle and coming out with wins, but we know that place isn't easy to play in. But one thing about this game, why I'm going over, I think this can turn into a shootout. I think we could see both teams get into the 30s. What Geno Smith are we going to see? Well, he's got a great matchup against this Rams secondary. I think the Seahawks offensive line can stand up against this Rams defensive line. They weren't able to last week against Buffalo. But with the Rams, man, when they have Nakua, when they have Williams, when they have Cooper Kupp, this offense is about as potent as it gets. I think the Seahawks secondary is weak. I think their front seven is weak against the run. You give Matt Stafford a run game, I think we see the Rams running up the numbers on the board like an NBA game. I'm going over the 48. Borderline money picks. Just keep in mind the fundamentals here. Rams coming off a big win, going to the Hawks. The Hawks season will be on the line in this game. Next game, we got the Jacksonville Jags at the Philadelphia Eagles. Over, under 48.5. Under. Now, a lot of people were excited about the Bengals last week because, like, for instance, the Eagles left tackle missed the game. But one thing the Bengals can't do is rush the passer. And one thing the Jags can do a little bit is rush the passer. That's why I'm going under here. I don't have a lot of science. I'm excited about the Eagles. I'm higher on them than most people. I've been wrong about some teams like the Fins and Jets, but I've been very right about the Eagles. But I just feel a letdown performance coming from this Eagles offense. There is no science. Obviously, it's a good matchup for them against this Jags secondary. On the other side of the ball, like, we've seen Lawrence play better the last 3 weeks, but is that Jags offense something we can count on? And we got to give this Eagles defense credit, especially the front four. Like, look at Sweat, how good he's played the last 2 weeks. I think this Eagles defense is peaking, and I think this Jags offense is peaking, but obviously I like the Eagles defense more in this matchup. I'm going under the 48.5. Next game, we got the Chicago Bears, the Bears at the Arizona Cardinals. Over, under 44.5. I'm going under. I just think this is going to be a gritty game. I think we're going to see a physical Chicago defense. And I think we're going to see another one of those performances where we see some good things from Caleb, but we also see some pitiful things from him. And the zone of defense, if you can run the ball on them, you can absolutely tear them up. But the zone of defense proved they can stop the run against the Chargers if they put their mind to it. On the other side, like, listen, Kyler Murray, he'll play 2 good quarters. He'll make 5 or 6 gigantic plays in this game. But is it something you can count on? The big matchup for this, whether it goes over or under, is if this Bears front seven is up to the fight. We know this Bears secondary can cover anyone and is one of the better ones in the league. I do think this Bears front seven plays better than normal. I'm going under the 44.5. Next game, we got the Washington Commanders at the New York Giants. Over, under 43.5. Money. It's too low for me. I'm going over. And I know Daniel Jones is a non-functioning entity, but I know Debo will be able to put up some points on the board. He was able to get them with a chance to tie the game against the Steelers defense, and that's way better than the Washington defense. But this over is more about Daniels and how good he's playing. Another week to heal. You see how dedicated he is, getting in at the facility at 4 a.m. every single day. I think that makes a huge bit of difference. I think the Commanders make big plays, and I think this Commanders offense is just getting started. They dominated that game against the Bears, but they came up short on offense. I think they are able to close in this game, turn those field goals into touchdowns. I'm going over the 43.5. I get it. Divisional game, Daniel Jones on the other side. You don't like going to over. Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at The Cincinnati Bengals over under 46.5. I'm going under. I am worried about this Bengals team. Now, we know their defense, they can't really stop anyone, but we've seen them put together good games against teams like the Giants. And we know Vegas, when you have Minshew at quarterback, maybe O'Connell comes back, you're not going to get a lot of boost. You're not going to get a lot of verb. But this is more about the Raiders' defense. Like, I think the Bengals are going to be able to run it, but we don't see Chase Brown get enough burn for me. But this is more about this Bengals offense. We haven't seen them put together too many complete games. I'm going under the 46.5. And one thing the Vegas Raiders like to do is kick field goals, especially in garbage time. That keeps this game under. Next game, we got the Denver Broncos at the Baltimore Ravens. Over under 45.5. Money, borderline, because I respect this Broncos defense. I respect Vance Joseph. I respect Sean Payton, and they know how to manage a game. They know how to slow down elite quarterbacks and elite offenses. But I'm going over. I just can't see how the Ravens don't get into the 30s this game. I think this Ravens offense is the most potent in the league. And you watch that game against the Browns, and the Browns defense is a pretty decent entity. They used to be very good. But the Ravens wide receivers and skill positions just made so many mistakes, and they left so many points on the board. I can't see that happening, especially with the acquisition of Johnson. I'm not saying Deontay's going to get like a lot of burn or anything like that, but just 3 or 4 targets can really clean up this offense. And when you look at the Broncos, they got a favorable matchup against the Ravens. We know you can throw it against the Ravens. Now, do I trust Bo Nix? No, I don't. But I do trust the scheme of Sean Payton, and I do think he'll be able to get up 14, 17 points on the board. I'm going with like a 30-17 game, 33-20 game. Give me the over 45.5 money pick. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Atlanta Falcons. Over under 52. The Cowboys have been perplexing this whole year. Let's be honest about it. They've been perplexing the whole year. I'm going under. But when you look at both of these defenses, they kind of have the same problems. They just can't stop the run, and neither is getting a great pass rush. But I'm going under here because something has to give, and there just isn't a lot of weapons for the Cowboys. Now, I know this Falcons defense has given up points to worse offenses. Like, look what they did against the Bucs last week with Godwin and Evans out. But I'm still going under here. Very, very cautious about this. And also, there's no Micah Parsons coming back. There's no Bland coming back. That hasn't been confirmed, but it doesn't seem like they're close. I'm going under. No science. I know everyone's going to take the over. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Over under 49.5. I'm going under. It was nice to see Tua back, and they really got that quick passing game working against Zona. But this Bills secondary has just overperformed my expectations. That's the big reason why I'm going under. A big part of Miami's offense against Zona was being able to run the ball. And we know the Bills can be susceptible to that, but I'm not sure Miami gets it going. I'm also not sure if this Miami offensive line can hold up against the Bills front that I feel like is underrated, and I feel like Rousseau is one of the better rushers in this league. On the other side, listen, this Bills offense is going to keep getting better as the weeks go on. You add Amari Cooper to that unit, and you get that offensive line run blocking better every single week. Obviously, it's going to trend up, but I still don't feel like this Bills offense is elite. Yes, Josh Allen is elite, but the rest of the offense isn't. I think Miami comes in for a fight here. I'm going under the 49.5. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Shout out to my total bros watching at home. Next game. got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Cleveland Browns. Over under 42 and a half. Money, money, money. Money over. Make it a damn money pick. Listen, we're seeing the Chargers air it out more, and we're seeing Herbert play some of the best football in his career. Does he have anyone to throw to? No. But when you have a run game, when you have a good offensive coordinator in Greg Roman, and you utilize the play action pass, you can make things happen. And when you have Jameis Winston on the other side, you can get big plays. And we've seen this Chargers defense get banged up time and time again. Just look at all the injuries in the secondary. I think Jameis Winston, he's the ultimate over quarterback. I'll tell you why. He'll throw it deep. He'll put up a lot of pass yards, but he'll also churn it over. And I think that's a part of this game. But one thing we need to look at about the Cleveland Browns, that offensive line is getting healthy. And we know that Chargers front seven has been absolutely stingy against the run. They just have been. I've been surprised by their physicality and run fits. But can I ask you guys, I think the Browns get the run game going a little bit. They got the run game going against the Ravens, who are one of the best front sevens in the league in terms of stopping the run, not pass rush. But I think both teams get into the 20s here, and that's enough to push it over. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans. Over, under 38. I'm going under, but no science, because we don't know if Drake May is going to be out there. If you tell me Drake May's out there, I think this can push towards over. Now, both offensive lines can't block, and the New England Patriots got a pretty good defensive line. Not great. They don't have anyone explosive since they traded Judon. But this Titans defensive line can really get nasty, especially if Jeff Simmons is out there. And you wonder if Jacoby Brissett is back there. I don't think the Patriots will get the run game established like they did against the Jets. And I'm also not confident they're able to play action pass. And I'm not confident they're able to pass block. Neither offensive line can pass block. I got this going under in a very ugly game. I think the Titans are the better team, but if you throw Drake May in this equation, I kind of like the over. Next game, Thursday night football. We got the Houston Texans at the New York Jets. Over, under 42. This one has my head spinning. This one really does. Because I'm going over, because even though Diggs is out, even though Nico Collins is out, I feel like this Texans run game is trending up in the right direction. I feel like Stroud will be able to make plays. I feel like this Texans offensive line can deal with pass rushers as long as there aren't blitzes, zone blitzes coming at him. We saw what happened against Green Bay. And then also, like, everyone wants to bury Rodgers and say he's done. Like, has it been the best year ever from him? No, like, it hasn't, man. It's been bad. But I also think Rodgers has played better than the media says, and he's going to need to. And the Jets are in a no-lose situation. Are they a bad team? Yes, they are. Is this Texans defense very good? Yes, they are. But I do think the Jets can just scrap enough points. Like, I see like a 24-21 game. Give me the over 42. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. The best gambling show on the internet. Great talking with you guys. Let's get this money. Friday live call-in show. Let's do it about 7 p.m. Eastern time.